we will defeat.
Okay, well, I'm here with Syndrome of Fire. They're on their way down to do some recording, so we were able to catch them and have a quick little interview. So I like to start out, I like to get some background on all the different information you guys got. So I want to start off, how did Syndrome of Fire come together? Some people may know this, but just something I like to start out with and kind of get things rolling. How did you guys come together?
Start with Ryan.
Ryan, you're up, buddy.
All right. Just talk?
Just talk.
Cool. Well, basically, well, that's just it's a long story. Basically, what was it, 2010 now, I think? 2009. August of 2009. But that's not really when Syndrome of Fire started. It was, or maybe it was...
I'll tell you the backstory before.
Yeah.
Let's tell the backstory of the backstory.
Okay, yeah, just the whole story. Basically, I went down to IHOP. I was working as a youth pastor in church. I went down to IHOP. God just kind of told me to drop it, and yeah, the actual International House of Prayer down in Kansas City.
Pancake sounds good right now, thank you.
Yeah. And God just, kind of told me to, kind of leave that and just really focus on music, and so that's what I did. And I got back home and just totally planned for that. Decided to leave the church that I was at and working with the youth there. And from that point, about a week later, I decided to go to college. Didn't really know why. I was going to, there's a college, and I could go for a huge discount because my wife worked there. And so I was just like, well, I'll just go because I don't really know what I'm supposed to do now. Yeah. And through that, I was leading worship for, it's called the Calm at the college. And I met Sonny through that. They had told me that there was I'd asked for a keyboard player, and they said that they set one up that there wasn't a very good keyboard player. And so I was expecting, they told me I'd have to work, a lot with recording and stuff like that with the people, and I was like, okay, I can deal with that. And next thing I know, Sonny shows up, and the person had actually canceled out kind of last minute and called Sonny as a replacement. I'm just like, what in the world?
He's like,
and so Sonny and I just, we talked a little bit, and just over the next couple of weeks, we just kept talking, and we started writing our first songs. And through that, we started a band. It was called Fate's Melody. That was very short-lived. Just kind of it was kind of our dream. We're like, hey, we just really wanted to get this going, and we had a lead singer. It didn't work out very well.
Redhead.
Yep, another redhead. And
Except there's a guy.
but kind of the funny thing is through that band, we actually played at the Pella Open Bible Church in Pella, Iowa, and we came in just to do a worship thing. And Cassie's husband actually happens to be the pastor there, and through that we got to meet Cassie. And Cassie came and she sang a worship song actually with us down at a concert in Centerville. And then it's kind of like during that same time that our the lead singer left and just decided he didn't really want to do the band thing. And Sonny and I are trying to figure out what we want to do, and we're like, well, Cassie has a good voice, and she's pretty, so she'd look like really good on the front of a poster. And so that's kind of how it was born. And we were kind of a southern rock flair as Fate's Melody, almost an indie southern rock to some extent. And but Sonny and I liked the harder stuff and the classical and the gothic, and so we started rewriting everything for Cassie's vocals. And we did a lot of stuff, and nothing really happened. We just prepped the snot out of our band. I mean, we were just ready to go take on the world, and it was just like nothing was ever happening. And so Sonny and I made a trip to IHOP, and we're down there and kind of in the prophecy rooms and stuff. The two things that just kind of came up. One was that God hadn't forgotten about us, and that we were on His calendar. He actually had a date, and that was really cool because I was pretty discouraged, and I think Sonny was kind of at the time too. And then the next thing that just kind of came out was just like, it was the basic gist of it was the reason why God's not doing anything is because our expectations aren't high enough of what God wants to do. We're kind of like trying to, do all this like little small stuff, and what God had for us was actually bigger than that. And so we're excited. We go home and everything just kind of became easy.
We weren't trying to make things happen.
Yeah, we weren't trying to make things happen. And within a week, we got like our first like gig, and it was booked with a band called Civil Twilight. They did the theme song for I Am Number 4, that movie I Am Number 4, and we got a gig with them, and then we got a gig with on the Christian side with a band called Rotterdam November, and just between those two shows, just got a lot of fanfare just immediately, and we just went from being like kind of a nobody to like within a month, like the big deal, kind of in the Des Moines market, especially on the Christian side, and just everybody's wanting to open up for us and play with us and do different things, and that's kind of how we got started overall.
Basically, Syndrome of Fire started when I joined.
Yes.
It sounds like a fair assumption. So, you guys are saying you guys have opened up for a lot of different things. I've noticed recently, like you guys did Evanescence last fall, Cutlass here just towards the end of winter. Really neat. Like, tell me, like, how was the experience for you guys? Like, I know a lot of times that can be very surreal, just like looking around, and like, am I really here? But like, how was that? Like, just go from playing in churches and just kind of just getting started to all of a sudden you're opening for this. Tell me, just tell me kind of how that was for you guys.
Well, you mentioned Evanescence, and so obviously, like, I remember when her first Bring Me to Life single came out, and I just remember thinking, wow, I love this song, I love this music so much. And at that time, like you said, I was just singing for churches, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just meant, like, I didn't even think I would ever even be doing anything like this. Like, I had no idea. And so just kind of thinking how here I am now opening up for Evanescence, and I grew up listening to her music, and just like you said, having no idea, and now it's happening. So yeah, it's a very cool feeling, just that, like, God can totally change your whole life around, that, which is awesome. So, Eric, Ryan.
And I guess one of the things too is just you're just kind of asking, how it makes us feel and stuff. It used to be, I still get excited about everything. Just over the past few days, we had a couple kind of cool things that happened. That's just exciting again. But it's kind of becoming like par for the course. It's like you think things are like just going well, or maybe you're let down or something like that, and then the next thing you know, it's just like boom, big thing going on, and God He's really good just about doing that. And to some of like when we did the Cutlass one, to me it was just, it was a fun show, but it was just kind of, by that point it was just kind of like it's another show. It wasn't like, oh man, I'm really worried. The only part that I was honestly worried about is that we had to hire out 3 people in the band to be able to join us for it, and so we had a very small amount of time to practice because we brought a violin player in. We had a bass player that had basically a week to learn all the songs and be ready to go. And then actually our old drummer, Tim Denner, was kind enough to jump in on that show with us too.
Yeah. You agree, Sonny?
I agree.
That's the best answer right there.
Agreed. Cutler explains. Agreed. Just trying to think if there's anything that they didn't cover. Because like you said, I agree. I agree with both of them. Yeah, every time we stay, like, if there's something that goes wrong, it's always like better things go right. I've come to the point in my life where if something like a gig cancels or something, or if an opportunity that was really awesome just kind of crashes or something, I just always think, oh, this is awesome, because I know God's just gonna bring something better now, and He does.
Worried, yeah.
He does. I don't even worry about it anymore, So, okay, that's yeah. So that's pretty interesting. I always wondered, like, as a fan, even just looking on this side of things, it's always like, how is it you go from nothing and then you end up in this kind of situation? Like, how does that feel? But so as a band, you're out on stage a lot. You hear a lot of different interesting things. Like, for some maybe a fan will do it, or someone in the band will do it. You end up with some nicknames.
Oh.
For example, I know we have one saying here, Key Shredder. Sunny key shredder color.
Okay.
Okay, I've got it. You're gonna explain it. I'm kind of curious about that. And then if you guys, and if either you, Cassie, or Ryan, if you guys got something, I want to hear what it is and why. Starting with Sunny, go.
Okay. Well, I've been called a few things, so I'm not so good before in my life. But my nickname, Key Shredder. I don't really. Somebody just said that one time. They're like, "Man, you really shred on those keys," and so I just put it in my Facebook as my middle name. I'm like, Key Shredder. It kind of makes sense, you know. Then after a while, people would just say, "What's up, Key Shredder?" You know, and like, they're just, you know,
It's stuck.
it just kind of stuck. But I got a keytar now, and I have one of my fans. He calls me Key Tarzan.
Oh,
I really like that one. So I think my favorite one so far is, yeah, I mean, Key Shredder or Key Tarzan. Call me both, man. So that's actually, don't even call me Sonny in the interview. Just call me Key Tarzan. All right, they'll know who. Yeah, they'll know who it is. All right.
Okay, just because I am a redhead, so therefore I would just say if there was any nickname, people just, it refers to being a ginger or red or you too over there. Yeah, so like.
No matter what I do.
Yeah. Red spot, I don't know.
There's a
Or
ginger
hair on
road.
fire. I mean, I don't know. Like that, or they refer to my vocals. But I wouldn't say. Do you guys think I have one nickname? I would say I don't really.
Miss Jetski.
Oh, yeah. My nickname is my teacher name.
Miss Jetski.
and
Okay,
Mrs. Jetski. Yeah.
Why? Why?
Why?
That's very. It's funny, but why?
Why Mrs. Jetski?
Yes.
Oh, because like when I teach and I'm introducing my name, my name is Getski, but it's easy to remember. Like you ride a jet ski on water, and so therefore like all the kids are like, yeah, I'm gonna remember that. So they all call me
Tell
Jetski.
me about your teaching experience.
I just finished my student teaching this last week, so I just earned my master's in teaching, so I'm finally done. So excited. But I've just been. You talked about how you usually get up at like 8 a.m. I'm having to get up at like 5 a.m. every single morning since January. Yeah, it's been torture, you know, living off 2 to 4 hours of sleep, just preparing lesson plans for the next day, grading and everything. So I have been Mrs. Getski for the past, how many months? Too many months, and they've been waiting for me to finish this, and now it's just going to be music, and I'm so happy because I'm so tired of being called Mrs. Getski and telling people what to do, and I hate giving out detentions. I hate it. I just want to be fun Cassie again. So here's Ryan.
I actually don't know that I have any nicknames.
You're just Ryan.
Do I?
Well, I actually knew your. Remember what you used to be with your hair, like this. They used to call you the blue hair guy, the Smurf or whatever.
Papa Smurf.
That was back in the day. Like, dude. Yeah.
Well, one of the things like yeah, I was kind of the first person to start doing this in the band because I've never really cared. I mean, I've been kind of sold out on this project the whole entire time. I've just been kind of crazy gung ho about this. So I'm actually the oldest of the group too. I'm 32, but so when it comes to like dyeing and permanently bleaching my hair and dyeing it in weird, random, vibrant colors.
By the way, right now I believe it's like this purple. It almost got like a tint of blonde to it.
Yeah, it just was bleached, and then I actually put a purple dye in it, and then I actually took it out kind of half time, so to have like a lot of different colorations for the music video here coming up.
Pretty awesome.
But yeah, Papa Smurf, because it was blue, and everybody's just like, hey, it's Papa Smurf. So, and I keep trying to go for the self-imposed nickname of just the ogre, but it just hasn't caught on yet.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging the Papa Smurf thing.
Call him Papa Smurf.
I love. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that Papa Smurf thing. I could kind of see that. So,
Ask us what our favorite animals are.
ooh, I don't know. With his reaction, I don't know.
Actually, if you're gonna ask that, ask Cassie, then give it to me after that.
Okay, I will do that. I'll hold on to that one first a little bit. My next question is, I was kind of, Cinder Fire's got this very interesting twist of sound. He's got this rock thing going on, kind of prevalent there, but I keep noticing this classical flair in there. Every so often, kind of pick that out. You're like, okay. So I'm gonna go. I want to know, where is this coming from? So this can be the fun question because I know there's quite a few different answers here. What influences you guys? What is your favorite style of music? What do you listen to daily basis? You're just like, yeah. What do you guys got? Start Sunny. This is gonna be fun.
It is kind of fun. I like a lot of types of music. I I think part of my writing process sometimes isn't always influence on the music I listen to, though. Like I like a lot of metal, like a lot of guitar riff driven chunks, like rhythmic guitar unisons with like the drum. You know, just tight metal rhythms, rock stuff. You know, but I was trained in music in a kind of a classical, music theory background. A lot of the songs and style I try to use some like diminished chords and some weird colorful chords, you would say, like that a classical pianist would use, and try to duplicate my writing style anyway, kind of into that melodic. Just the music's always kind of flowing, and it's not just your basic 1-4-5 chords, if that makes sense. I'll pass the phone to Ryan next, actually, because I think what makes us unique is we do a lot of the writing, me and Ryan. Cassie also on vocals, you know, she does, you know, a lot of lyrics and some melodies and stuff, but a lot of the musical part, Ryan and I do that. And we both kind of have our own style of writing, but I guess the classical side you refer to would more, I'd say, I mean, it comes from everybody, but I think just the musical side of it comes from it.
Okay. Yeah, see, I was just kind of curious how that, you know, because I kept noticing that classical first. I'm just kind of, I've heard that it comes from your direction, but, you know, I want to kind of hear it from your words. So we're going to Ryan because he says let's go to Ryan. Mm-hmm. Ryan, let's see what you're going to say here. This is very interesting because I'm wanting to know beyond not just what you guys listen to on the other, but kind of like where he was going is what also is influencing that sound.
Right. Well, I guess, yeah, Sonny does definitely do more of the classical movements, and anything that has proper theory to it is almost always...
If you could play classical on the guitar, I think you'd be my hero. I'd love to see you do what he does on the guitar.
But
I tried to cover it.
But I guess, like, as far as... I fell in love with classical music a while ago, too. I actually used to hate it. And I have a friend out of Amsterdam, and he's one of the more prominent... Well, he's actually was ranked at one point like as like the first or second best improv artist in the world on piano, and he played a lot of classical pieces, but they're ones that I'd never heard of because I was always used to listen to these like Claire de Lune and stuff like that. And he started doing like a lot of Franz Liszt, and so through that I started to have an ear for like really weird things, and like I don't know the stuff that Sonny knows, but a lot of times he'll be writing something and I'll hear him play it and I'll say, hey, stop, try this, and I'll try telling him exactly what I'm hearing in my head, and it's normally difficult, and then normally Sonny like gets off the piano at some point, and then he's like, well, just try showing me, and so then I try showing him, and then he just sits back down and he does his magic. But I also write a lot of stuff on guitar. I'm definitely riff driven on the guitar. You know, just kind of I'm more of a rhythm guitar player than lead guitar player, so I write a lot of stuff just kind of based on a groove base to that. I like that type of a style with just like rhythmatic grooves within the songs, and kind of with the vocal lines that kind of follow through that. Also, another influence that I have that I've had for a long time, just because it fascinates me, is actually Dream Theater. Just their music's like a roller coaster, and I would say, like recorded wise, you don't get to hear what we're actually live. And but live, one of the comparisons that we do get a lot is Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Dream Theater for a lot of things. A lot of that has to do with Sonny because he's just a virtuoso. But other than that, I mean, but a lot of our songs have, I mean, we do some 11, 12-minute songs that's only available live. I mean, you don't see a show like that way unless if you, or like The Letter, if you bought that off iTunes, it's like 4 minutes, 12 seconds long. And it's an old song but we've been working on it now for 2 years, and we've made it kind of into like literally a 12 to 13 minute masterpiece now, and it's the finale of our concerts, and it's probably our most popular song live, and so people wait for it. People go show after show and wait for that doggone song. So, yeah. But it's a good song. It meant a lot, but that's kind of where it comes from. So, and so.
All right, so you're a little bit different. You don't necessarily do the musical stuff, but you're a vocalist, okay? So where do you get your vocal influence from, specifically? Like, just, if you want to throw out names, go for it. Just kind of who inspires you, I guess you could say? Because, I mean, a lot of times you find vocalists are actually inspired by just someone else's, like, qualities and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Where do you get yours from? Where do you come from?
Where do I get my inspiration from? Well, sort of, I'm just going to answer your first question, and then I'll go there. My father is classical jazz pianist, and my mother was an opera singer, and so like I grew up hearing classical all my life. But then I fell in love with rock, and so my favorite sound is a classical piano with violins and cello, with raging guitars, and like that double bass sound. It's just all this beautiful music put together. And so that's why I love these guys, because they make that dream come true, and then I can just put my soaring and haunting melodies over that. And so I love to be able to just in my vocals be able to just express the feeling that I'm feeling, and I would say that I grew up, I think I was really touched by, do you know Plum? Yeah. Yes. See, I grew up listening to Plum, and when she came out, it was just like, I don't know, she was really different, and she kind of had a little bit, she sang in those minor keys and just kind of did some eerie stuff that I thought was interesting. I can see that a little bit, like that almost influences your voice. I can kind of tell that a little bit. Must be. Well, because I was listening to her, and of course, like I said, when Evanescence came out, I was just like, wow, I really like her. And then Flyleaf, I love Flyleaf. I would love to be able to scream like her. I think she has the best controlled scream in my mind. But it's very impressive to say the least. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Yeah, no, I liked how you mentioned that, because I like when you specifically said like Plum, and you went to Evanescence and like Flyleaf. I'm like, okay, you know what? I can kind of tell that, because it's just kind of, I can kind of get hints of everything, kind of like a melting pot. It's kind of, you're like a combination of all of those and then some. It's a really neat combination. I kind of like that. It's very different. So, kind of sticking on the music taste thing. Gonna go pretty quick on this one. Favorite song. Gonna go. Oh my goodness.
Counterclockwise. Okay.
You have to go the other way.
Go okay. We're going clockwise.
That's too hard.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you 3 songs to name. I'll give you. Go 5. I don't care. Just name your top songs. We'll leave it at that. All right, Ryan. What you got?
I guess one would be Poker by Sonny Cutler. Yeah.
All right, we'll get into that. Guess what? You know what you're doing now.
But to be honest with you, the Oh How He Loves, which is a worship song. I mean, that one's just, I just love that song, and especially just recently a lot. And to be honest with you, probably I've been trying to find it all over. I bought a CD. I was at a concert the other night, a Saliva concert. But who's that band that I Love You that sang that song? Royal Bliss. They have a song called I Love You, and it has some explicits in it, but it's probably the most powerful love song I've really heard in a long time, and just the way that the guy sang it, and you could just see how his heart just hurt, and I was like, man, that's just incredible. So I bought their CD thinking that song was on it, and it wasn't. So
all right, Cassie.
It's on their other CD.
Cassie, you're up.
Okay. Since you did a worship song, I thought, okay, You Won't Relent, of course, yes. It's one of my all-time favorite worship songs to do, and I'm still not tired of it. The message is beautiful and amazing, and I guess back to vocalists that are inspirational, Kim Walker as well. So, okay, you share one of yours.
Hi.
You're welcome.
I also like worship music, but.
I see a theme coming here.
But I really listen to a lot of secular rock more than worship. Probably I usually specifically only listen to worship if I'm going to worship. If or what I'm saying, I'm gonna go worship, so I'm gonna throw on some worship tunes and just worship God. I do that, I do that. I like to worship. I need to worship. Everyone does. But
you need coffee. You kind of go on slow there.
Oh, sorry. All right, boogers. All right. So, but I think my top song right now is 2 Weeks by All That Remains. It's a metal song, clean lyrics though on that one. That one song. But guitar solos, tight breakdowns. It's just a fun, catchy song. You want to form a mosh pit and just release all your anger in the world.
I don't know, that seems like a pretty good place for a mosh pit.
Yeah, let's do it in the hotel.
What first top of the random thought you can come up with? Quick fire, go!
Oh man, I was just thinking of a scientist working in a lab, and he just comes up with all this like purple glue gunk, and he's like, "What the heck is this?" And it somehow changes the world.
That is probably awesome. All right, Cassie, random thought, go.
Bunny rabbits are so fluffy and cute.
Yes!
Alligators eating fluffy, cute bunny rabbits.
Yes! All right. No. I heard bunny rabbits and I heard alligators. Guess what we gonna bring back?
This is not random.
Okay, so he brought up, asking about, or brought up not asking about favorite animals, but then he's like, all right, well, fine. If you're gonna do it, start with Cassie. So guess what? Cassie, favorite animal. All right, this is supposed to be very interesting, so I've got to hear this.
I don't know how interesting it is, but when I was about 8 years old, I had about 30-something bunny rabbits. And so,
Okay, that is like a lot. All right.
She was homeschooled.
Hey,
yeah, we talked about that.
don't get me started.
and so anyways, yes, the bunny rabbits are very fluffy, and they're the best pet you can possibly have, and they're wonderful. And so I wanted to get like a tour bunny rabbit, but our original drummer and bass player, which they're no longer with us, not for that reason, but they didn't want me to have a tour bunny
I was
rabbit.
gonna say, there might be an interesting story behind that.
So yeah, we're working on that, and Mr. Fluffy's going to be with us at some point. So watch out, guys.
I actually like big dogs, like not the little small puppies, but you know the bigger ones that can like eat bunny rabbits. And but seriously though, I mean just larger dogs. That's probably my favorite animal, like a golden retriever type thing or a Siberian husky.
All right, so just because of that random moment, I think I just found a nickname for our Ryan here. I think Mr. Fluffy sounds like a great nickname. I think Mr. Fluffy fits. I see Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, all right.
6 times the size of you.
That's the funny part. I think I'm scared now. There you go, Sonny.
All right, my favorite animal I would have to say would be an emu because they're so tall and awkward, and it's a cool bird. And sometimes I get on YouTube and I watch emu fights. If you ever like Google that, yeah, it's really cool. And like these emus just kind of like square off against each other, like, and then they just start going at it. It's pretty cool.
All right. I've heard of like cockfights for like when you see the chicken stuff, but emu fights. All right. For those who are watching this video on YouTube, insert emu fighting clip here. And resume. Okay. So this is awesome. So let's see. So we kind of covered some of the favorite music stuff. What do you guys do besides music? Because I know music is a big part of any band's life. But besides that, you can't do just music. I know you mentioned you've done some teaching stuff, but just like your fun, favorite kind of hobby besides music. We've covered that. Anyway, so who's gonna start this one? Anybody? Sonny's first jump on this. I'm sorry.
All right. I like to play Xbox, Call of Duty. I like to play zombies. I like to just or PlayStation. Whatever. I guess I'm playing on PlayStation now, but I guess that's what I do in my spare time besides working at JCPenney's part time, which I shall be not working there anymore.
By the way, boss, I quit.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, but I love to be with my husband. He's everything to me, so yeah.
Insert awkward
Well, I basically don't do much except for the band stuff. That's kind of what I live and breathe for the most part. I do have a wife and a 6-year-old daughter, and they take up time, but it's a great time. And my daughter's like turbocharged all the time, so she takes up a lot of time. But she's a great little kid, and so when I'm not doing band stuff, I'm pretty well just hanging out with my family or hanging out with Sonny or Adam and Cassie. So.
And insert random bolt of thunder. That was interesting timing. Okay. Cassie has a gas problem. No. All right.
Because they're farting and I never fart. Have you guys ever heard me fart? I don't think
I know fire. It's always catchy.
He's like,
Surrounded by guys all the time.
You know, I love sitting here. Just this is great. You know, I love sitting here having great conversation stuff. But to get down back to kind of serious stuff, like what is some of the your favorite? When you guys are on tour, you know, you guys do touring a lot and stuff. When you guys aren't home on Sundays, what do you do to feed yourself? Like on tour, whether you guys are out for months at a time or if you're just out for a show or two, but you may miss your Sunday services or, you know, your daily thing. What do you do for your daily thing to kind of keep you guys going? Because I know a lot of bands have a hard time with that stuff. So what do you guys do? Kind of keep that.
Well, I think we take advantage of the fact that like we can visit a lot of different churches, and so and also just making connections. And I mean, because what's neat is you can belong to a local body, you know, of Christ, but being able to, I mean, the whole body, it's all over the world, and so I think I enjoy personally getting to visit different churches and seeing their vision and how do they do things, and it's like the same spirit that's within us all, but just getting to see like different flavors of it is kind of neat. So I enjoy. We do try to make church every single Sunday. Yeah, now and then it's kind of just hard to make it happen, but me and Sonny and Ryan, a lot of us are reading the Bible app on our phones all the time, and
Amen.
yeah,
I love that.
I love that. Matter of fact, I pulled that out. We were leading worship that was in Panora, and I'm in the middle of singing, and I wanted to share scripture verse, so I had already had it pulled up on my Bible app, and so I pull it out, and I'm in the middle of singing, and someone everyone after they talked to me later, they thought that I was like getting a message or someone was calling me and like I was going to answer it in the middle of leading a worship song. And I was just pulling out, getting ready to read it, and everyone thought that I was trying to answer my phone in the middle of, but anyways, that was a little side note. But
I've been there. Anyways.
We were reading a book on the Holy Spirit this last summer. We were kind of both, he was reading a chapter and then I'd read it and then we would talk about it, and so also just kind of yeah, it's a book about the Holy Spirit and like the gifts of the Spirit and stuff like that. So it was interesting. But yeah, also we have lots of conversations while we're driving, like actually even on the way here, like just about God and our lives, like what are we doing and how are we doing, and I think we all challenge each other. Like we are, in a sense, like these are my best friends. Like my husband is my best friend, but like these guys are like my husband's best friends, like, and so these are the closest knit people around me right now, you know, and so honestly, if I needed help, I would go to these guys, and what's neat is like I can, yeah, they'll encourage me, like, you know, if I'm frustrated, so, because they're not just band members, they're my friends, so that's really helpful.
I would say, just to kind of expand upon like what Cassie said, that's one of the, with the three of us that we have right now, I mean, that's probably like the coolest thing. I mean, we're all really close friends, and our families, you know, our you know, spouses, I mean, we're just all close with each other. Sonny lived with me for about 2 years, with myself, my wife, my daughter. My daughter adores Sonny. My wife loves Sonny too. Now he's living with Adam and Cassie, and
Oh boy.
so yeah, and
I'm a
but so
he's our child now.
I think he is single currently. Are you currently?
Yes,
Yeah.
Currently.
So if you're not a stalker, feel free to go after Sonny. He already has enough stalkers, so no more of those.
But maybe I'm not looking.
So, but I guess what I just kind of want to just say is that a lot of it is just due to our friendship. I mean, we really care about each other, and if something seems off, we normally can figure it out. We normally talk about it, you know, and it's like a lot of times, like we just don't let things ride by. If we see that there's a problem, we normally try to address it, and it's not always easy, but we normally try to do that and get things done with, and you know, and just encourage and be with each other. And we love to do worship music. I mean, we're a rock and roll band, but one of our favorite things to do is to get a room full of people that just want to run after God and run. Yeah, and just
there to be a church.
yeah, and like run, like 3 songs. We did something in like the New Orleans area recently, and we got done with 3 songs, and the chaplain was like later, he's like, you realize that was like over 45 minutes. And it's like, yeah. And he's like, well, the people loved it, you know. So, but that's just our thing. Is like we just want to hang out with God. We want to run after God, and for us, that's one of the things that we can do together. That's just really easy, just for us to actually spend that time with God, utilizing our gifts.
That's awesome, because especially when you guys just kind of a few things I'm gonna touch on real quick is you guys were talking about one thing I picked up through the vibes of everything is, first of all, you guys are saying that we're all friends. I mean, it's like it's what holding you together. That to me, just I know I met Cassie for the first time tonight. First started just talking to her the first time this evening. Somebody I've meant to talk to a little bit, and I've talked to Ryan a little bit, and just by just seeing you guys get out of that van and just seeing you guys just work together, it's just very evident that it's a very close and tight knit group, and to me, I don't see that in a lot of artists anymore. It's a sad thing, but you look at a lot of these bands, and it's just not there. Sure. And to be able to see that is just an amazing thing. See that closeness and everything. To kind of relating, because we're kind of on that worship and feel right now. So kind of, to kind of go on, like, what do you guys listen to when you're trying to worship just in your own time? What do you guys listen to kind of just get you in that moment? I know you were kind of talking on that when we were talking about our music choices earlier, but I mean, I've got very, very, very wide range in that category. But I mean, just kind of your top picks on that. What is your, if you just need that moment, what do you guys go for?
I'm really a big fan of some of the Hillsong stuff that they do, and they could sing something very simple like, Father, I adore you, or something like that, but the music behind it is so beautiful. They'll say it over and over and over again until you're literally just hanging out with God, and you just feel like, oh, Father, man, I do adore you. You're amazing, and those are the moments that I love to get lost in. If I can have kind of one foot in heaven, one foot on earth. It's like, Lord, just give me a taste of your glory. And that's something that I've just been getting into more and more lately, and it's so cool just to see God like that and to experience God. And I've been a Christian for most of my life, but I've been seeking God more, and trying to find Him, and through the worship, and I'll just put on Pandora, Hillsong, I'll type it in, and stuff will just come on, and it's just like I truly seek God, and He shows up. So it's kind of, I don't know. Here, I'll just pass it.
It's hard to describe, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like the crazy part when you're like witnessing to someone, and it's like you just know that what God's done in your life is something that you can't deny, but you can't necessarily express it. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes when I'm talking to people, I'm just like, I just know it's real, because I know that I wouldn't be who I am. I can't express it. I can't try to say there's a formula. Just talk to God and you'll figure it out, So I know what you mean. It's like,
so musically.
Yeah, musically. But anyways, I'd say Jesus culture is kind of probably the one that I would go to right away. Or if I'm going to YouTube and I want to worship, probably Jesus culture. But I like how you were saying, kind of the simple stuff. It doesn't even have to be an organized song, but sometimes just melodies and something I can just worship and start creating my own stuff. Yeah.
One more thing I like is if sometimes I'll watch like a broadcast. These guys like to do it too. Bill Johnson, he's a great pastor, and so gifted in the spirit. He doesn't preach from like an outline format that most preachers would use. He just knows his Bible. He knows God. And he just relies on the Spirit to basically say the information. So he'll pause, and like every single word he says, it's just like, wow, that's just straight from the Holy Spirit. God just spoke that into existence through this guy, and you're just like, wow, there's no denying what he just said. It's just like, wow. But yeah, I'll give it a try.
I guess for me, the Jesus culture, the Hillsongs, the IHOP stuff. I love a lot of the stuff, like the harp and bowl worship type thing. Like Bill Johnson, I first kind of got to know him through some of the stuff up in Toronto with the Toronto Blessing and stuff. And they have a youth band up there. It's called the Fresh One Band, and they're incredible. I took a youth group up to the youth conference up there, and it was amazing. They have some incredible songs that they've done, and they have some incredible takes on some songs that we all love, but really just I love pretty well anything I love the live worship type stuff. I don't like necessarily the recorded 4-minute. It's like, all polished and stuff. I just like it raw and real, where they're just like, a song will go for 20 minutes and just to get kind of lost in that. And I love that, and just kind of hear all the people worshiping, especially like if it's like in a large crowd and stuff, and be able to kind of hear all the voices in the background just kind of singing, and it just kind of gives you, just a sense of kind of what was going on, and it's almost like corporate worship in your car, because you feel like you're with people sometimes, So it's, but yeah, that'd be kind of my thing.
That's a big thing. It's just being able to have that thing just to go to, and like you were saying, it's almost like you're sitting in the middle of the audience, wherever you're at. It's like you're in that place where they're at, and you're there. It's, even when you're in those situations, like you guys mentioned Jesus Culture, being at a Jesus Culture conference, you could be sitting in the audience and you're in a dark closet by yourself, focused on one thing, in the middle of thousands of people. It's just, the experience is incredible. I got about a couple more questions, but what do you guys, out of your study times and all that and your worship times, of all, like, what scriptures speaks to you? What is your thing that just speaks to you and just you live your life out of that? If you understand, what I'm saying. What do you guys? What's your scripture? I guess whoever wants to go first. It's definitely an interesting question to take some thinking, I'm sure. But
Philippians 3:10, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, becoming like him in his death, if by any means to attain to the resurrection of the dead. That's my favorite scripture, because like the whole reason why I became a Christian is that I could experience that to be dead with Christ, that all my sins, that who I was before, that's no longer anymore, and truly that I literally came back to life. Like, that's an amazing concept, the resurrection, and like to be able to experience, that's what that scripture says, to be able to attain to the resurrection of the dead. Like, that's pretty phenomenal, and I want that. And I don't want to be a Christian, someone who goes to church every week and I look no different, I feel no different. I'm just someone who's saying I'm a Christian and I'm happy but not really feeling it. Like, I want to truly be alive to Christ. And so that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I pray over my life all the time. That's what I strive for. That's who I am. Does that answer your question?
I really like Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, give you hope of the future. And I just always relate that, in my life. No matter where we go with the band or anything, I've been like really not so worried about what we're going to end up doing in the long run. It's just I know God's always going to be there, and He has a place for us at every moment of our life as long as we're following Him. And who knows where the band's going to be next year, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Who knows? But, God knows. And, I just was, kind of thinking about, we're here in this moment for this reason. And until God calls us somewhere elsewhere, we're going to be here in this moment for this reason, serving His purpose. We feel a calling to be here right now, so we're definitely focused on that calling, I guess. So, there you go.
Well, for me, I was I've had like several different favorite scriptures, to be honest with you, and it's just part of it's because I'm getting old. But I go through different parts and in my life and different things, and it's just the more I get to know God. I guess, to be honest with you, kind of what I was just thinking is most of Revelation right now is just really kind of what fascinates me, just more of talking about the beauty realm of heaven. A lot of times, like as Christians, we talk about God's love, and which is so amazing, but there's an aspect to God that everything He does is beautiful, like in life, like His creations, what He wants for our lives, His love, like even just the thought of His love, that there's a beauty behind His love, and that's just, to me, just reading in Revelation and stuff, and just the throne room, and just opening your eyes just to some of the beauty of who Christ is and who God the Father is, and just the reality of just everything, and it just, a lot of that's just kind of, I guess for me is, that's just kind of right now what's kind of been going on in my heart is just, how beautiful the things of God are, and so that's where mine is.
Yeah, I understand where I see a little bit of, I have the same points of kind of like a little bit of every one of your mentions, and this is my last question. I always end out with this, but I like to ask this question because I want to hear the hearts of the band. I want people that relate to what you guys are saying, but also just to know the heart of what they're listening to. To me, that's the most important thing. When you say you're a Christian band, I want to know the heart behind that band. I want to know the heart of the person that we're listening to. When I listen to music, I don't just listen to a song. I listen to the person. I listen to the heart and what's behind that. And the way I kind of go about that is I always end my interviews with this question. If you have this is your last moment on earth. This is the last thing you could possibly say to anybody listening. Anybody that could possibly hear you. It's like you want everybody to hear this, but this is it. This is the most important thing you could ever say. I'm going to go one by one. I know this is a heavy thing, but whoever can go ahead and go first. But what is it's like this is the last most important message you could ever say. What would you say?
Well, I've been actually thinking about that a little bit, but because somebody had asked me something kind of similar the other day, but I would just, that there is hope. I mean, we live in a hopeless world, and I mean, it's literally some of the places that we go and some of the things that we see, it's people feel hopeless, and that there is hope. And I mean, Cassie does a great job just telling a lot of people at concerts, to us that hope has been Jesus Christ, and that's really engulfed everything of my stance, even just with the band, is like I just want to give people hope. I don't that there's more to life out there than just everything that God has for us is just so much more than what we could ever fathom. And so if your life seems hopeless, if it seems not perfect, that's not what God wants. He wants so much more than that, and that there's just hope, and it's endless. So,
it's a hard question. A hard question to put down in just a little thing, but yeah, I don't want to just be repetitive. But yeah, I guess I'd say run to Jesus. Yeah, but also I think my heart is to bring the reality of Jesus Christ. There's so much just religion nowadays. People don't really experience God. They just have a form of godliness, but they don't actually experience the power of Christ in their life. Once again, going back to the resurrection of the dead, I don't mean to, but like it's not real. And my heart is literally to bring and experience what we're called syndrome of fire, to really bring the fire of God. Like think of Pentecost. What happened? they experienced something phenomenal. I mean, that who else has experienced that? And I just like, my heart is when I am with people, I'm like, God, what do you want for these people right now? Because I'm an open vessel. I'll do whatever you want as long as I know that's what you're wanting me to say and what you want me to do. And I want people to literally, without them even realizing what's going on, I just want them to be like, wow, I just know that God is real right now for some reason. You know? So yeah, I would just say God is the answer. He's everything. He's real. No matter what people say, He'll love you more than anyone else can. He'll be faithful when everyone else isn't. He's so good.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably just say God is love, and there's nothing that can separate us from the love of God. And we've talked to lots of people who have been burned by Christians who have not felt God's love because they've experienced the love of a Christian, quote unquote, who should be all about love, but are caught up in so much theological bullcrap, you know, that they forget how to love, and they're more just textbook Christians. Mm-hmm. And by the way, some of their textbooks readings is completely opinionated in the first place anyways. I'm like, there's no way what you're saying even makes sense right now. You know, when God's biggest commandment to us is to love one another. And that's, you know, as a Christian, that's what you need to do. You know, God, once you open up to Jesus, you know, and accept Him as your Savior, you know, He's no longer the judge. You know, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter if you've, you know, killed a man. I mean, every sin is, you know, guilty by punishment of death, but it doesn't matter what you've done. You know, God is love, and once you just ask for that forgiveness and let Him in, you know, He's yours basically. And we wrote a song. We used to do it a lot in the past more. It was called So Sorry, and it was kind of an apology to the people who have been burned by Christians who might have turned away from God. We're just saying, hey, we're sorry for these dumb people. We're sorry for these idiots that, you know, basically gave you a false hope, basically, of who God really is. And so we just are trying to represent Jesus, I guess, through our band in that way of loving one another.
Yeah, that, you know, that's just from the common theme of all the messages and whatnot. But I can't, you know, you sitting here in this room, I mentioned before that I like that question because it gives you that heart of what you're really listening to. You know the part of the person that you're hearing. And I can tell you, those who are listening to this, sitting in this room, you can definitely feel that. It's like, you know that people are really just, all they want is God. They don't really care about the big lights and all that. They just want God. And then that, you know, that's something that I love being able to experience from an artist. Unfortunately, that's not out there as much as it needs to be. But to be able to feel that just from an artist. And not even just a worship artist. You guys don't really do worship as a prevalent thing. You guys are rock artists. And to be able to feel that from that, it really just makes you realize that this is what Christian music, this is what the church is supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. Because the church is not made for being all religious and God. No, it's you guys really live what the church was made for, what the church is supposed to have been. If you look back in the Bible, the church was a bunch of drunk fishermen, tax collectors, corrupt, cheat, murderers. I mean, you name it, it was there. Where did you see the religious leaders who had all the rules? Where were they part of, you know, it wasn't written that way. And this is, you know, being able to experience the church. I mean, you look at this as the church, you know. But I do thank you guys for taking your time out to do this interview. I know you guys are on a busy schedule, heading down, doing some recording and stuff. I do thank you guys for coming, you know, taking the time out for this. You guys are going to be doing some amazing things coming up. We can't go into detail yet, but be watching. You'll be hearing some stuff. We'll be posting stuff right here on the Christian Music Source in the future about some amazing things that you guys have no idea. It's going to blow your minds. So go ahead and real quick tell me, where can I find about Syndrome of Fire? Where can I find you guys?
You can find us in Pella, Iowa.
All right.
I live right next to the Open Bible Church. No, don't stalk me. No,
Oh, boy.
no, you can find us on, well, mainly like our recorded music, probably Facebook, right? Wouldn't you say number one?
Honestly, our name is so unique. Go to Google and just go to Google and start typing in Syndrome, and it should autofill with Of Fire at some point, just because we have such a unique name. So.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to find everything about us on the first 10 pages or whatever. So
Yeah. We don't have all of our recorded music on YouTube, but yeah, I agree with the Google.
All right, and you can also go to find us at bars and like really dark places that a lot of
Amen.
other Christians are afraid to go into.
Because we're not afraid to be light into the darkness. It said go into the darkness.
I'd like to add something. I was thinking about this earlier when you're going
yeah,
around, and
go
I kind
ahead.
of want to say this, but you've referred to us several times as a Christian band, and like we definitely don't necessarily shy away from people calling us that and stuff, but we definitely aren't what you would call the classic Christian rock genre. We're a rock genre, and God has really called our band to go out and witness to people, and that's where our heart is. And I just like in a lot of, I guess I just want to share this because I don't know who's going to listen to it. Maybe other artists and stuff, and trying to figure different things out. One of the things I know is that God gave art to us. He gave music to us, and to say that you have to be, to say God in every other phrase to be a Christian artist. It's just like it's art. And it's what comes from your heart. We have a lot of songs that we don't even say the word God or Jesus in it. And some songs are just honestly fun. We have a song called Dance, and it's just a fun song. It's just like, it's a party song. Like, why can't Christians just have fun? I mean, it's just like, what is wrong with that? And
why not poke your mother?
right. and I guess kind of the whole entire thing is, it's just, I encourage just any artists that are listening to this, to take the chance to be real, and whatever's on your heart, to engage the world with the art, because when it comes out of your heart, and when you're not trying to place it into something, but when it just comes raw out of your heart, it's something magical and it changes lives.
Awesome. You know what? Thank you guys again, and thank you there who are listening. This is it's longer than I expected to go, but you know what? It was awesome. Thank you if you're hearing me talking. Thank you for sticking around for the whole hour. But no, thank you for listening. You can check us. You can check Syndrome of Fire out via Google. You can check out Christian Music Source here at Facebook.com/CM Source, Twitter.com/CM Source. Find us on YouTube, which you've already done. And thank you again.